And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 127 of Player Life. It is Monday, the 7th of June, here in Tokyo, Japan. I've missed the past few episodes, but yeah, it's all good. Um, Actually, I'm gonna actually change the times of doing these live streams, just because it's kind of difficult at this time. It's 8 p.m. here in Tokyo right now, and I think Central Daylight Time it is like 6 a.m. So maybe it's not the best time to do a live stream actually. You know, so actually I'm gonna instead of live streaming five days a week, I'm gonna live stream like 3 days a week. So Monday at 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Uh, Wednesday at six. Wednesday will be the same. I'll do Wednesday the same time. Um, Same time. That's like 6 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and Thursday 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So I tried it out last Friday, and it seemed to the show seemed to get more viewers. Just on the random, did an off the cuff show at like 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time uh, on Thursday. So yeah, it was my Friday here in Japan, but yeah, so it was Friday 11 a.m. here, but it was Thursday 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So yeah, instead also live streaming 5 days a week, although I usually miss a day or two, but I think it'll just be easier, because I also have stuff going on. Live streaming like this kind of can get in the way of living the player life, because it's 8 p.m. So it's kind of prime daytime, to be honest. You know, got to switch it up. But at least one day a week, I'll do. I guess a Central Daylight Time, show. So it'll be the same on Wednesday, I guess. So from now on, 3 days a week, and two of those days will be 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Monday and Thursday, and Wednesday will be 6 a.m. It's way too early for most people. Most people are sleeping at that times, but I'll do it anyway for the early risers, for the guys here. So hopefully you guys can catch the 9 p.m. show on Monday and Thursday. Gabriel E in house, what's up? What's good? What is good? Know your worth in house. What's good, brother? Hope you're well. Hope you're well indeed. Um, yeah. Other than that, all is good here in Tokyo. All is good. It's coming into rainy season here. It's hot and humid. It's kind of sticky. I don't like this time because it's just like you have a shower and you immediately feel like sweaty again. But it is what it is. Nice try, governor in the house. What's up? What's good? Yeah. So yeah, I'll be switching up the shows. Just give my try and get more viewers, and also give me more time to live the player life. Because as I said, 8 p.m. like on weekdays is live streaming every night is kind of hard to do. Uh, but who knows? Maybe we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I'll be actually doing so from tomorrow I'm gonna be changing it. I'm not gonna be live streaming on Monday anymore. So yeah, I'll be doing a show in on what day is today? Yeah, today's Monday. So your time, 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or wherever you're at. So that's the story. That's the story. See how it goes. But yeah, for today's show, I just thought, yeah, the wanted to talk about how actually, people who live the player lifestyle actually get rejected more than anyone. Um, some people think that guys that get with a lot of girls, the girls just come to them. They're just somehow, the girls just arrive at their doorstep and just that's it. Uh, Maybe for a tiny, 0.1% of men, or maybe 1% of men, that happens. Maybe for 1% of men, girls just arrive at their door, and I don't even know. I don't even if a guy is like super like genetically gifted and good looking. Yeah, maybe he can just go on an application and just swipe and just match with 100% of the girls. But for the vast majority of men, that is not the case. It's just not the case. Uh, it's not in female nature to want to approach a man. It's not in their nature to chase men. It's just it's not the way it works. So guys that you actually guys that actually live the player lifestyle and get with a lot of women, they actually, the reality is they chase a lot of women. um no, you can say, maybe, Richard Cooper says, chase excellence, not pussy, not women. And I agree with the sentiment. It's a smart thing to be working on yourself and constantly trying to improve yourself. But the reality is there's tons of high value men out there that have serious difficulty getting any pussy or getting with women. Um, and Death in the House, what's up? That's good. So unfortunately, if you just if you chase excellence and you become excellent and a successful man, that's great. It's definitely a bonus point. It'll make getting women easier, but still, if you actually just chase excellence and never chase women, you're you're probably not going to get very much pussy. Uh, the higher value you become as a man, the better you become. Uh, you know, the probability will probably increase of when you approach a girl, when you go trying to source women, the probability of getting with them may increase, because obviously being a successful high value man is a a desirable thing. But at the same time, there are actual, like, I showed a video um last week where there was some bum, a guy, actual homeless guy. Well, according to the video, he was saying he was homeless, and he was basically going around New York, Manhattan, uh, you know, gaming women and sleeping with them, and this guy he's literally homeless. So, you know, you don't necessarily even need to be a high value man, as long as you're reasonably good looking and you have game. Um, and this guy that the video I showed of the guy that was actually just rolling around New York, kind of a bum. He wasn't particularly even dressed well. Um, I don't think he was dressed well at all. Um, and he was basically, according to the video, he was sleeping with a lot of women. And I'd believe it. I would actually believe it, because if that's what you're doing all day, if you're just like, it's a constant numbers game and you have decent game, you're going to be successful. Eventually you're going to get with women. Like, there are going to be women out there, as long as you pass a certain you know uh, uh, barrier. Obviously, if you're like if you look like, visibly look like a bum, Like if you're stinking and dirty and, you're probably, that's too much. But, you get my point. You get my point. If you're, if you look all right and you're putting yourself out there and you're chasing women and you have confidence in game, you're going to get with women. You're going to be getting sex. Like the reality is, people who have bad sex lives, who don't get enough pussy, they don't have very. First of all, they don't chase. Second of all, even if they do chase, even if they did try and chase for a bit, they gave up too soon. They don't have thick enough skin, and that's the reality. Because there's people out there with some serious disadvantages, like there's some people that have like seriously fucked up lives and have like all kinds of problems, but they can still get pussy. you know um it because it really is it is down to having game and uh not getting hurt by rejection. Like there's a lot of guys out there that are successful, they're fit, they have all the the bonus points. They have all they have the muscle, they have the money, they have the status, they might even have the fashion, but what they don't really have is game. Like they don't have that innate confidence, and it kind of shows on their face. You can see that kind of, and it's not even that. No, it might not even be that they lack the confidence. It might just be that they haven't like figured women out, and like they that kind of feeling of some guy, a lot of guys out there, it's not even a confidence thing. It's like they're missing out on pussy, and the kind of the hatred or the stink of rejection, or not even getting rejected. Maybe it's like they're not even. It's just like they feel like they deserve to be getting pussy, but they're not getting it because they haven't figured women out, and the kind of the thirst, or shows on their face. Even though they're high value, they have everything in line, everything's sorted out, but they don't understand women. Meanwhile, like a bum down the street, like living in a dirty little flat, eating pizza and like smoking pot, goes out and like bangs these chicks on the first date, or um, it's just the way it is. Because I think a problem a lot of smart guys have is that they're not you know they're not able to have like simple conversations with women. They think that it's more complicated than it actually is. And actually it's really simple, but a lot of guys, they aren't able to just put it together. And like I said, they have everything pretty much sorted out in their life. They have their muscles, their fitness, their finances, but they're still unhappy because they can't quite, they can't really. They're still getting scraps. They might get pussy here and there, but they're still getting scraps, and that kind of resentment shows up on their face. When a guy isn't. Sometimes you just know, you meet a guy, or wherever it is, at a party, at a bar, and you kind of know he's not getting pussy, and it's not that he's a dork or a nerd, or sometimes the opposite. Sometimes he can be like look like a Chad, but you just know this guy gets fuck all pussy because there's something a little too sharp about him. He's a little bit too serious. He's a little bit too on edge, or a little bit too defensive, and you can just read a guy like that. You know that, that a guy like that just hasn't gotten laid in a while, or just that's probably the element in his life that he's missing out on. Just being successful with women. He can be successful in every other aspect of his life, But when it comes to women, it's like can't get it. You just can't figure it out. He's tried all the tricks and he just doesn't get it. Um, Thomas Shaju in house was good. Nice try, Governor says. I would say game is number one. I had friends that had nothing, no fitness or money, but got pussy because they had confidence and charm. Very true. Um, I know a guy. I know a guy that yeah, an American dude. Uh, haven't seen him in a long time, but yeah, he was seriously. Let's just say his fitness was insanely bad. Uh, he was obese. Like, he wasn't just overweight. This dude was obese, like ridiculously obese and bad. Like um, but borderline. Going on one of those like tricycle, like motor scooters or whatever that you see, morbidly obese people going around, shopping malls in America. But honestly, he was getting there. And this dude would actually do day game. And he was just relentless at it. It was unbelievable to see because he would just do it anyway, even though he was so obese. But he had other things going for him. I mean, he had like even though he was like obese, he dressed pretty well. Um, he was he was a cool guy to talk to. I mean, he was chill. I mean, so you could say he had game. But this guy used to get laid. I mean, this guy would get pussy because of his game. And compared to other guys that are super fit and real successful, this guy's like you obviously it's you could say that it's self-inflicted, and it probably is. It's if you're obese, like it's your fault. But he's obviously at a huge disadvantage. There's guys out there that are 6 foot tall, 6'1", even more than 6 foot. Jacked. They go to the gym. They have a good job. They're making more than 100K a year, but they're still getting scraps, and it comes down to like not having game and just not on. It's coming down to not understanding women, really not understanding women, and not under just not understanding how to talk to them, not understanding exactly what they really want. A lot of these guys have swallowed the Disney narrative, thinking that being the upstanding dude is gonna upstanding proper like tradcon is gonna get them make them a lady killer. It's like nah. It's just like nah, bro. Nah, like there's a reason. There's a reason that they say like the jerks get the chicks, because in a way it is true. It's not that you have to be a jerk, like an asshole, but it's like when you give less of a fuck, genuinely, not in an aggressive, angry way. It's not like, oh, I don't give a fuck, like, bitch, like, get out of here. It's like it's not like that. It's not that way. Like, it's not like, bitch, like, fuck these bitches, like, I don't, come here, like, get like, suck my dick, bitch. It's not like that. It's guys get it twisted and think like actually being a jerk and an asshole, like an aggressive asshole. It's not like that. It's more like not giving a fuck in a fun way, not in a butthurt, like, angry way. A lot of guys get that twisted. They think by actually being like an asshole is they hear, oh, like, I heard like assholes and jerks get pussy, so I'm gonna be a jerk and an asshole. And it's like, yeah, but you're getting it confused. You're not interpreting it correctly. Um, when we talk about, saying, when we say the jerks get get the chicks, we're talking about, you know he's a jerk in the sense that he doesn't really care about the girl's feelings. That's what that means. It's like the guy that gets the pussy is the guy that doesn't really give a fuck about, her feelings. It's not like and it's not necessarily that he's trying to hurt her feelings. He's not like out there, oh, I'm gonna, like, kick this bitch to the curb, and I don't give a fuck about her. I'm gonna, it's not like that. It's just like, it's more like he's kind of out there just for his own benefit. If that makes sense. He's selfish. The jerk is selfish. The jerk that gets the all the chicks is a selfish dude. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get what's good for me, and I'm good then. So it's all about interpreting it correctly. And a lot of it, the thing is, a lot of it comes naturally to these guys. Guys that get it usually just get it. I wasn't one of those guys that got it like immediately. It took me time. I started off, I would say, I started off quite slow, and then it was a parabolic learning curve for me. But there was a long period of not getting it, not understanding women. And that says, mental point of origin, always look like a jerk to the normies. Yeah. You never want to be like a normie. Never. But yeah, I remember last time I was back in Ireland, I was out for I was out for, what was it called? We're just having lunch with my brother, and it was like a busy enough. It was 2018, Christmas 2018, and he's from what I see, he seems to be pretty blue pill, and I was surprised, actually, because I was very surprised, because he was the one that introduced me to Rollo Tomasi's work, but it had it had appeared when I met him back in I still keep in touch with him from time to time, but when I met him back in 2018, I basically, I don't talk about red pill material and stuff with my family. I don't like to talk about that kind of shit with my family. It's weird. I don't even want to talk about, I don't even want to talk about chicks with family members, or even my brothers. It's weird. Like, I don't know. But anyway, we were having lunch, and we're in a restaurant, and it was busy enough. It was loud. And he's at How's Japan, and somehow the topic of, talking about, recently, in 2018, there had been, there is capital punishment in Japan, and that topic came up because there was the cult member. There was a cult in Japan in the 90s, and there was a sarin attack on the Tokyo subway, and I just mentioned that. That came up anyway. I must have brought it up. I can't remember how, but it was funny because I basically told him that in Japan, when they're executing prisoners, they don't tell the prisoners. They don't tell the prisoners that they're going to be executed. So the prisoners don't know. Like, they could be in prison for 20 years. They're never told a date of when they're going to get executed. So as far as I know, like, if they're going to be executed, they're literally told the day before or something, and then they're executed. But anyway, I told this to my brother, and he was the only reason he had a problem with it is because there was chicks like 10 feet away. And first of all, there's no way they could have heard what we were saying. I wasn't speaking particularly loudly or anything, but he was basically started simping for these chicks that first of all they didn't hear what I would have said because it was a busy restaurant environment. I was just shooting the shit, talking about stuff that I'd talk about with anyone. And suddenly he starts like simping for these chicks that first of all didn't even hear what what I was saying, and saying, "Oh, you can't be saying that, in a restaurant, people are eating." And it's like, what the fuck? But my point is, even if the chicks, the reason I brought this up, even if the chicks did hear it, it's not like what, like you think you're gonna like, would they even be like, I don't know, would it be that off-putting? We're just two dudes talking about politics or like culture. um I imagine going around life being that worried about what people first of all, didn't even think I would never have thought that that would be an issue. It's just a casual conversation. But for me, I would never, if it was my brother, I would have told him to get fucked because I don't like being policed. Like no one's gonna police my conversation. Like I'm not gonna hang out with someone that's gonna try and police like my language or like if someone doesn't want to talk about something, that's fine. But it was just it was just the way you know you know guys could just get it confused. It's just very blue pill, and it just I don't know. I thought it was relevant. I thought it was a relevant topic to bring up. Because it's like that nice guy. Oh, I gotta be. I gotta protect the women. I gotta protect their fragile little ears. They're the guy. They're the last guy. They're the guys that get the least pussy. They're the guys that get fuck all. Like First of all, I'm not trying to insult. I'm not trying to. I wasn't trying to like um, you know, uh, be a badass and like try and like I was literally just talking about something interesting in a restaurant. I thought it was an interesting topic, but it's these guys that simp and shit, and do all these nice things for women and stuff that women don't even really even appreciate. Even if those girls like, I don't even think they would have cared like if they heard me say that. Oh, like uh, you know, when in capital punishment in Japan, the prisoners aren't told. They're not told before they're executed. Oh, there's gonna ruin their day. Like they're gonna like they're not gonna be able to eat their fucking lunch. Is that like you need to be such a weakling pussy for that to like affect you? Like the world is not this safe little like little safe space. Oh, don't bring up such topics. Oh, I can't have my lunch. God, oh my God, I just like shit, man. I don't know. I could never be friends with someone that would try and police my language like that. Miguel Garcia, sup Mac? Finally made it to Japan, bro. In Osaka at the moment. God damn. Are you visiting or what? You visiting or are you living here? What? I didn't know you could travel to Japan. What's going on? Let me know. Are you trying to live here or what? Once you roll up to Tokyo, hit me up. Cool. But Oho says you have to keep boundaries even with family. Roy Keane. Yep, Roy Keane. Some man he is. For anyone who doesn't know, Roy Keane is a soccer player. Total Chad. Even though I don't follow soccer, but Roy Keane was a boss. Nice try, Governor says. That's crazy. If only they knew the women actually looks down for white knighting. Yeah, white knighting never pays. I mean, it doesn't pay. You don't get any respect for it. Guys often end up either beaten up or even a worst case scenario, even they can even get killed for white knighting. you can get killed for white knighting. I'm not even trying to be like exaggerating. Like men can actually get like seriously injured or killed for white knighting. Um, Friends of mine told us, uh, they were on a bus and I think it was in Scotland, and some dude like I don't know. Apparently, he smacked the chick with him, and it was obviously his girlfriend or whatever, and he smacked her. I wasn't there, but my mate jumped in, or he jumped in. What are you doing, man? You can't hit her. And yeah, so the guy, you know, he not only beat up my friend, but the chick also started beating on him as her boyfriend was beating on him too. So that literally happened. So you can imagine my friend won't. That was the last time he did any white knighting. Um, so yeah, it's not saying you can never like help someone out. I mean, if you see a chick in trouble, like genuine trouble, like yeah, I mean, you're not an asshole. You don't want to be, you're human. You help someone out, but there's a difference between helping someone out and white knighting. Like white knighting is when you're only helping someone out to look good, or appear virtuous, or with the end goal of like getting some pussy. My friend's a pretty cool dude. I don't think I don't think he did it. I don't think he did it to with the idea that he was going to get some pussy, but he did it maybe he was just naive, like he's very blue pill, uh, you know, um, and he just didn't foresee the consequences of picking a fight with someone that was going to be able to beat his ass, and who knows, the guy could have killed him. I'm sure there's a lot of guys. I'm sure, not. I'm not only sure. Obviously, it's a fact that men have gotten killed for white knighting. I mean, you know, uh, I don't know how you get the stats on that, but it's. I'm sure all across the world, someone is in a nightclub or wherever it may be, um, they've jumped in to try and save the lady from I've seen guys trying to white knight for guys even like shouting, couples having arguments, and the girl, you know, is shouting at him, and the guy, the boyfriend is shouting at the girl, and then surrounding, other dudes like trying to white knight, even though it's not even physical, but it's just shouting, and it's like, dude, you can't talk to her like that. You you better respect her, and it's like it's so fucking like it's not even your business. Or even cases like where maybe there's a physical altercation and maybe the girl attacks the guy, and then the guy defends himself or hits her back, and then people white knight, trying to because the guy defended himself, and someone can end up getting killed. Either the white knight can go and kill a guy and go to prison for some random bitch, or the white knight can get killed. You know, so it's both sides, or end up with serious consequences, criminal convictions, all sorts. Imagine being in prison for like an argument between like a random couple. They're guaranteed like idiot blue pill fucking idiots. I talked about them before, like call it alpha blue pill. Alpha blue pill guys. Like there's guys in prison who got involved in some business that they had no business getting involved in, trying to be the hero, and they ended up killing someone or severely injuring someone, and they're in prison. Getting all they're getting now is getting dick down, or um, they're not going to be getting all their white knighting isn't going to get them any pussy for all their stoic work. Um, Miguel Garcia says, working ALT. For anyone who doesn't know, ALT is assistant language teacher. Good stuff, man. Osaka is a pretty sweet spot. I've been there twice. It's yeah, I don't know it too well, but I know it's a cool spot, and you are actually in a good Osaka girls. You should have a good time down there. They're more open. They're more open, less jaded than Tokyo girls. Tokyo has the hottest girls, I would say, but yeah, in Japan, wherever you are, uh, you're gonna find hotties, like hot fucking bitches. Like, but um, yeah, man. If you come up to Tokyo, you know, hit me up. But Japan's a good spot to be right now, definitely. Rishi says, "Bro, can you read and write Japanese or just speak the language?" I can speak it. I can read and write. I can read and write some of it. It's a very it's a very complicated language to read and write. So I can read, you know, I can read. There's three alphabets. There's a hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So hiragana is the kind of Japanese alphabet, and then katakana is the alphabet used for foreign words. What would be an example? Like for foreign words like supermarket, they would like super, like stuff like that. Um, you know, so that's katakana is I like if I was to write my name Maku, I'd use katakana. And then there's kanji, which is the Chinese alphabet. And kanji's, I know hiragana and katakana off by heart. It's reasonable. There's only a certain amount of characters, so I can read and write them 100%, no problem. And I can write. I don't know. I can read a couple hundred kanji, maybe, but there's thousands of kanji, and there's thousands. So it's not something. It's kind of a process. You're never gonna. It's not. I'm not gonna be at a point where it's like, oh, I can just read all kanji and I'm like 100%. I'm decent. I'm I passed. I basically passed. There's a national. There's a proficiency test. There's I think there's 6 levels, and I think I passed the third one. I didn't take it anymore, so I'm decent. I'm decent, but not certainly far from perfect. Icky says, Mac, is the Olympics happening this year? What are the Japanese news saying? Honestly, man, I haven't been keeping up to date with it enough. If it happens, it happens. As far as I know, they're going ahead with it. You know, I think athletes are allowed to come. I don't know. It's a real shame though, because it would have been a good time if the Olympics went ahead. Japanese are pretty good at organizing things. Nice try, governor says most of these biatches are in abusive relationships are by choice. I would just keep out of it. Yeah, a lot of them are, and they'll keep going back. They'll keep going back to the abusive men. Apparently, there was a study done that showed that women that left abusive partners to get help went and were just as likely to go back and find another abusive guy. So that they'll hop from abusive guy to abusive guy. I don't know, I don't know. I don't know what it is with women. They just, yeah. Sometimes they actually, like I was saying at the start of the episode, like I don't mean you have to be like an actual, like an abuser, like an asshole. That's not the point. But some women actually, apparently, they do actually like actual abusive men. and I'm not suggesting that as a strategy or a method to get women. You shouldn't be abusive, but um, it's more about um, it's more about just you know going after what you want and not really caring about. Well, it sounds harsh, but it's the truth. Like what makes you attractive almost to women is when you don't really care, when you don't care. Oh, I've tried. It's been proven so many times. Just I know it's anecdotal, but just from my own experience, whenever I'm seeing a girl, and I I obviously I have to make the initiative to, I make the initiative. I approach her, I get her number, I uh, I deal with her for the first part. But once I get in the door and we've slept together and we've smashed and I've laid good pipe, then I and then I pull back, Then I pull back. Then it's like I'll message I'll message maybe once a week. Then it'll be like, and I'll only message to it'll only be messages to, if we're meeting up. I won't be messaging like, oh, how's your day? How's it, what did you do all this week? No, it's like, hey, are you free tomorrow? What time can you come over? Um, you know, um, it's not like, and when I do that, it's always the same. It's always like they become more keen on me because I'm not like, I'm not so forward. It's always the same. If you're very forward and if you're like too forward, they're gonna pull back and they're gonna lose interest. But the less interest you show, as long as you laid good pipe and she enjoyed your personality, that'll make her like you so much more. It's not like she'll just like you. It's not just going to be a given that she's going to like you just because you pull back and you're cold. No, you obviously have to bring good, lay good pipe and be fun. But if you combine that with like pulling back, if you lay good pipe and you're fun, but you message her too much or you're too keen and you're messaging her, oh, good morning, how was your day? And it's like the it's like they know that they have you already and that they might tend to pull back and not be that interested in you. It's like there's something just innately unattractive about something when you have it. It's like, all right, yeah, I know I can have that. It's like we all want what we can't have, kind of thing. We all want that. We all want something that we can have, and it's like when you kind of when you give like women that when they're not secure, when they don't fully know if you're gonna be if you're gonna leave them at any time or you're gonna stop seeing them, that'll make them like crazy. That'll make them crazy. That'll make them really like you a lot more. Yeah, just neediness is like a girl's version of anti-boner. How would you say anti-wetness? Neediness is just like anti-wetness for girls. Like if you're a needy dude and you're like, oh, how was your day, sweetie pie? She's just gonna be like, this guy's a pussy. This guy's a twerp. This guy, this guy, you know. Yeah, and you should be careful with the don't overdo it with the emojis either. If you start sending these like girly emojis and stuff, she'll think you're a twerp too. Um, you know, this is kind of it's kind of relevant, but when it comes to even dates, like when you're on a date and you like guys can overdo it, they can like overextend the date. A lot of guys overextend the date. They start having too good of a time. You're like, guys, they'll go out for drinks and they'll start having too good of a time. When you go, what do you want to do? Do you want to have a good time? Like, do you want to have, drink a lot? Do you want to go for drinks or do you want to have sex? Which is it? You have to decide, because if you're going to go out and spend like 3 hours on a date and like 10 drinks, and it's like you're overextending the date. You're like it's like the girl's fucking you. Then she's fucking you, um, when you bring her on a date like that. Because at the end of the 3 hours, she's gonna be like, "Oh, it was such a wonderful time. It was great." Oh, and you're like, "Oh, do you not want to come home with me?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I had such a wonderful time. Maybe we can do it, next time." And then she'll bounce off, and then she'll block you. Even though she had a wonderful time, she'll go back to her friends, and she'll be like, "Oh, how was that guy?" And it was like, "Oh, he was nice. I had a good time, but yeah, you know, yeah, I'm not gonna see him again. Actually, I'm gonna block him now." These girls are fucking nuts. Like, they're nuts. So what you want to do is you want to combat that. If you want to not let that happen, and you actually want to have sex, what you do is you you go like an hour max. Like, you want to cut your dates to like an hour. Like, you want to shoot your shot after an hour. So the thing that you do is, like, you have one or two drinks. I'd say two drinks max. I don't know why you'd have a third drink. Like, what are you doing? Um, what are you doing? Like, if you want to drink with your mates. Do you want to drink, or do you want to have sex? Drinking and sex don't really go together well for men anyway. Um, one or two is fine, but so anyway, what you do is, when you finish the first or second drink, for me, to be honest, it's probably the first drink. I'll just say, okay, okay, ready, let's go. I won't say, "Oh, do you want to go?" Or you want another drink? No, I'll be like, "Hey, let's go. Let's get out of here." And she won't know. Maybe she thinks, the thing I like about it is, because she doesn't know, is the date over, and like, she's kind of like, because you want to say that when in the middle of having a good time. You want to say that when it's like you're not even at the peak. Because if you've like been on a date for 3 hours, like fucking 3 hours, you're drinking, you're already going to be coming down, and she's going to be kind of getting. It's going to be like, oh, it's like it's extended way too much. But when you cut it, like, before you've even kind of plateaued, like, um, you cut it even too soon is better. And then she's like, you don't really tell her where you're going, and she's left kind of wondering for a few minutes or whatever, like like when you're walking out of the venue, or when you're going. Maybe you've already paid. It depends on what kind of place it is. But she's wondering, is he going home, or like, she might like you. Hopefully she does. That's the goal. Like, she's interested in you. She thinks you're cool. She's been enjoying the conversation. You've made her laugh. She's attracted to. Um, you know, um, and she's like, "Oh shit, is this like it's over? He's not, kind of like this guy." And then, when you get outside, you make your move. It depends on your situation. You're either if it's in walking distance, you just walk to your place. You just say, "Let's go for a walk," and then she's like, "Oh, it's not over. He's not going to leave." So she kind of is more likely to accept that, because it's like she's glad that you're not just leaving. Um, so she'll just come along on the walk. And what is it? Yeah. So, and then, obviously, if your place is not within walking distance, you can't really just say, "Let's go for a walk," because it's not, your place might be like half an hour walk, or half an hour is probably a bit too much. You don't want to be walking more than like 20 minutes. I'd say 20 minutes is like the max. You don't want to be walking too far. 20 minutes is like, but if it's something that you need to go there by car, you're just going to have to shoot your shot. The thing is, it's not, you might as well, because it's not going to make a difference by being, some guys think, "Oh, if I stay longer on the date, and I'll build up more of a connection, and she'll be more likely to come home with me." And it's like, an hour, a few drinks should be enough to do that. It's really not going to make much of a difference. And like I said, if you overextend it, it's more likely that you're going to yeah, she's just gonna say it like, oh yeah, that's her version of fucking you. Like she got this long date, and then it's like, oh, it's over, and she'll go home after. Um, sometimes it can be some to do with like time restrictions as well. If you spend too long on a date, and maybe she has to get a last bus home or last train, and you don't want to be like spending too long because you want to like leave time enough to have a drink or two in the bar, or it might be a coffee, who knows, and then time to go back to your place, time to smash, time to chill out for a bit, time to smash a few times, hopefully, and then time for her to get the last train or go home, if she doesn't want to stay or whatever. So yeah, it's always better to shoot your shot um, after an hour. There's no point in pussyfooting around it, um, you know. Uh, and that's the part where most guys choke the hardest, and that's the guys, because some girls will be genuinely on the fence, like so they're literally on the fence. They don't know whether they want to sleep with you or not, and then what'll push them to the side of not sleeping with you is them kind of being turned off by the way in which you invite them back to your place. If you don't show enough confidence, or you choke on it, and it kind of dries up her pussy a little bit, your lack of confidence, she'll she'll say, oh, okay, maybe next time. Oh, I don't do this on the first date, but she has done that. She has done that on the first date plenty of times, just not with you. So it's a harsh reality, is that they have done it, and they probably do it, but they're just not doing it with you because who knows? Maybe you did everything right, but and there is a chance that you've done everything right, and you could do everything right, and they're still not going to come. That's that's part of the game too. But there's also the chance that you didn't do everything right, and you kind of choked up, and like if you're going on 10 dates and you're not getting one lay, then you're fucking up on the your game is your closing is you're fucking up real badly on your closing. You're obviously doing your sourcing is going well, but your closing, you're having serious problems with your closing, and closing is obviously one of the most important parts. So yeah, but it will happen for sure. You will get rejected, and yeah, the point of this episode was to emphasize the fact that you know players get rejected more than anyone. They're because they're the ones that are out there approaching the most women. So if a guy has a notch count of 100, he has approached thousands of women in general, like a rough estimate. Like it's not like if a guy has a notch count of 100, he definitely hasn't just approached 100 women. He's tried to hook up with a lot more women than just 100, for sure. Like there's no, even the best, even the most handsome guy, like even the most handsome dude, will not bat 100 for 100. There's no way. It's not going to happen. And that says, can do everything right, but one example is girls in the epiphany phase create limitations for themselves almost instantly. I used to sleep with guys on the first date, but not now. Yeah, that's why you want to avoid. Yep, 100%. And that is why you want to avoid the epiphany phase girls, because they're annoying and they're jaded. They're annoying because they're going to try and make you pay more for something that they gave up for free. And that's like, no way, bitch. Not a hope. Nah, no, thank you. Yeah, they're deluded. Like they're getting what their value is going down, yet they're asking for a higher price. It's like, oh, I've 2006 Ford Fiesta, and I'm asking for 20 grand for it in 2021. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what, how can your price go up when your value is going down in the sexual marketplace? And he's going, oh, yeah, my value doesn't go down. Oh, I'm just as valuable. No, you're not. Not in the sexual market value place. No, you're not. Sorry. It's a harsh fact of life, but I don't make the rules. I didn't design human nature. Like, whatever. Um, you know, it's harsh, but it's true. I mean, you can't, these girls that gave away sex when they're 21, one night stands, like whatever. And then when they get to 29, they're like, oh, I only have sex after 8 dates. And it's like, it's no, that I'm not going to deal with that. Uh, yeah, but yeah, it is what it is, guys. I don't know. You're gonna get rejected. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, it's part of the game, and it has to happen. If you want to fuck a lot, you're gonna have to get used to getting rejected. Um, you know, but it's how you deal with that rejection. It's how you deal with it. And how I deal with it is I just don't care, because I know if I may remain resilient and just enjoy the process. You have to find a way to enjoy the process. Uh, uh, in a way, you really do. But guys that have a lot of trouble are guys that really hate the process. These guys find it'll always be an uphill battle for them to get chicks. You have to find a way to enjoy the chase a little bit, because uh, you really do. Because I know guys out there, and they just, I love pussy, but it's just like it's so hard, and I don't want to. It's just not worth it. And it's like, well, I mean, okay, well, I'm sorry, but it's like, if you're not gonna chase, you're not gonna get that much pussy. I'm sorry. Um, I'm sorry to say. I don't care how excellent you are. That's one point. I love Richard Cooper's content, but I do disagree with him about it. Like, about it's not really based in reality. Unfortunately, you can be the most high value guy. You can have all this, that, and the other, and it'll help. It'll help, like, increase your success rate. But it doesn't, like, women aren't gonna come to you. I don't care. Like, I know millionaires. I know literally millionaires, and they have problems getting with women. Um, you know, uh, they really do. So I don't know. Hellfighter says, how to deal with that entitlement? Did we already lose? I think you meant. Yep. So, I mean, it's like, Western women. It's not only Western women, but it's women. I mean, they're not willing to. They're not going to give up. They're not willing to give up their. It's really difficult for them to accept the fact that their sexual market value decreases so rapidly. So honestly, you don't fall into their frame, and honestly, you try and source younger women. um but some of them they could be, you can meet hot 29-year-olds, and they'll throw out the whole, like, oh, I don't sleep with the guy in the first date. And it can be a shit test sometimes. But if she's attracted to you enough, and she sees you as high value enough, and she will sleep with you on the first date. Even though she might say, "Oh, I don't do this on the first date," and she might shit test you, and you say, "Oh, but let's just go back to my place and chill anyway. We just listen to some music," and then the ironic thing is, she'll be like, "Oh, but you don't need to use a condom. I'm clean," and it's like it'll go from, like, literally like 180-degree, like, spin. It's like, oh, I don't sleep with guys on the first date. Sorry, I'm not coming back to your place. And you're like, oh, well, just come back, and we'll listen to some music, and we just chill. And like 20 minutes later, oh, actually, I don't like condoms. You don't need to use one. It's like it's like 20 minutes ago, you were saying like you don't come back on the first day, but I'm just spitting that out there to show. It can. A lot of time it's a shit test too. If she's attracted to you, she thinks you're a high value guy, she's gonna try and like lock you down. Um, but and literally that has happened to me. I'm not making that up. Like it has not only once, like it has happened to me a few times where girls like, I don't do this on the first date. And then it's like, oh, but I don't like condoms. You can just like nut inside me. Um, yeah, but yeah, guys. Um, just to reiterate, from now on, I will be uh, I will be live streaming on Mondays at 9 p.m. Central Time, on Wednesday at 6 a.m. Central Time, and on Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Time. So like Wednesday will be the same time. So from now on it'll be like 3 days a week live streaming, just because I'm busy with other shit, and I still want to keep live streaming. So if you can join the 9 p.m. show, from now on, especially on Mondays and Thursdays, that will be like 11 a.m. Here in Tokyo. So yeah, I guess in what time is it? In 14 hours from now, I'll be doing another live stream, because that'll be 9 p.m. Central Time. So yeah, guys, let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it here. But thanks for joining, guys, and I will catch you guys at the 9 p.m. show. So take note of that. So as usual, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the links in the description. If you want to join my premium content, the community is growing. It's getting better. So yeah, definitely. If you're interested in day game, I'm your man to show you how to do it. So peace out, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.